So what if I write about people getting killed in horrific ways just about every day? I mean, I'm still a pretty nice guy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Writer's Block. This is Brantley J. Brown, head writer for Horror House Media. Alright, today we're going to talk about SOUNDBITE. Now, as many of you probably know, SOUNDBITE was the very first film that we released on Halloween night. If you haven't seen SOUNDBITE yet, go ahead and stop watching me, go check it out, because there's probably going to be a few spoilers in my discussion. Now, what I'm going to talk about is the screenplay for SOUNDBITE, and I'm going to go all the way back to the early conception, all the way to what made it to the screen. And there's a few interesting tidbits in there. There's a lot of changes that most people don't know, and I'm going to talk about it. Now, some of you probably find this boring as hell, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So if you are into writing and you are interested in what goes on in the writing process for the Horror House films, please stay tuned. Alright, so let's get started. SOUNDBITE is essentially a commentary on the dangers of social media. Whenever we first started talking about creating Horror House, we knew that we wanted to do short-form content, but we didn't know quite what to do for our launch. My good friend and my writing partner and director Michael Colomb was talking to me about possible ideas, and he mentioned something along the lines of The Ring. Now, I think it's a very creepy idea. Obviously, it's worked many times over, but it's been done so many times that I thought, well, what can we do with that idea and put our own spin on it? And something that you don't see touched upon very often in film is what can happen with sound. So I thought that maybe we could do something with this, storyline of this audio file that kills people. And he really, really liked that idea, so we started kind of discussing it. And we decided to write the screenplay together. And we did. And it was a great script. But nothing like what we ended up filming. I'm actually going to read you a little excerpt from the original script, just to give you an idea. Alright, let me find it here. Okay. We open on a black screen. Mitch, off screen. Dude, it's supposed to be the scariest fucking thing you've ever heard. A pulsating line appears in the center of the screen, rising and falling in erratic patterns, a wavelength created by sound. Dante, off screen. Alright, you're kidding, right? Death song? It sounds like some mid-90s goth band. Deep, red letters behind the wavelength. SOUNDBITE. Mitch, off screen. Yeah, I heard some chick had an aneurysm after listening to it. We cut to interior bedroom, night. Definitely not how SOUNDBITE starts now. There is no character named Mitch. There is no character named Dante. In fact, there aren't any guys whatsoever in SOUNDBITE. Now, let's talk about how that went from that bit of the script to what happens to the girl in SOUNDBITE now. So, we had the script, we sent it off to our producer, Ray, and he liked it. We were all geared up, excited about filming this script. And then, things behind the scenes started to shift. We knew that we were going to have a male lead, and I believe that they had an idea for who they wanted to play that character, but for whatever reasons, it didn't work out, and we kind of had to go back and start from scratch. So Michael and I talked about the idea of switching the script around to maybe have a female lead. And everybody seemed to like that idea, so I was behind it. But we had also kind of talked about the idea that there was more story about Death Song. And we had started to think of ways to expand it into a feature film at some point. So we started writing a synopsis. um, built around the scene from the short that had to do with Mitch and Dante. And the opening idea for that was going to be about a girl alone in her sorority room listening to Death Song, and we see what happens to her. And we ended up deciding to expand upon that opening scene, and that was going to be the short film. So we completely rewrote the script. Shortened it quite a bit, actually. And it was very daunting to me because I always feel that dialogue is so important in a script, and we decided to do this without any dialogue whatsoever. I don't know what we were thinking, because it could have really blown up in our face and not worked at all. It was a gamble. In fact, because of the fact that we didn't put any dialogue in it, Michael Colomb didn't want to send the script to our actress, Taylor Murphy Sinclair, because he thought it would insult her as an actress. I knew she was going to love it, and I knew she would be perfect for the role, so I insisted that he send it to her, and I'm really glad that he did, because she is phenomenal in it. She really sells that film. It's a sign of a true actress, because she didn't have any words to convey the terror and the sadness that she felt right before she kills herself. So, you know, it makes me gasp every time I see it, and I've seen it about 1,000 times now. She's just so believable. I'm very, very happy with how the film translated from script to screen. There were a few things that I thought were important in the script that didn't make it in there. You know, it didn't kill the film at all, obviously. It's done very well. We've gotten great, phenomenal reviews, lots of views. So, I mean, you know, I can't complain. But I do feel that whenever you have a short film, you need to lay certain Easter eggs and clues so that the audience can kind of build more of a complete story surrounding this, you know, this very brief 5 minutes that you're giving them. A lot of people don't even know what she's listening to. They don't know what it's called. And in the script, it was originally, you see that she's been given like a business card that tells her to visit this, you know, deathsong.com. Seems insignificant, but it actually gives you some of the backstory. This is what she's listening to. This is the website she's at. And I think that the brutality of her suicide at the end was diminished a little bit. In the script, I really went for it. You know, I'm talking about how, you know, when you see her face, she has hit it so hard that, I mean, there's gashes in her forehead, you know, so wide and deep that you can see, you know, the skull. I mean, I'm talking teeth are flying out of her mouth. I mean, and she really is doing some damage to herself. It looks really good in the film now, and I'm happy with the special effects work that Zach Edwards did. But in the script, I wrote it to be a much more brutal scene. But you know, that's how things work. It's not always going to be what's on the page is what ends up on the screen. I'm very fortuitous because for the most part, everything made it. There's just a few little things in there that I think could have sold it a little bit more. But, you know, that's just writer's preference, and I'm probably always going to be like that. There will probably always be something in every film that gets made from my writing that I'm going to mourn something that got lost. You know, it's the curse of being a screenwriter. But, yeah, that's my thought process on SOUNDBITE now that it's been out for a while. It's been filmed. You know, I loved the original script. I'm sad that we didn't get to film it, but it will live again. It is very much part of the feature that we are planning on doing. Hopefully, within a year, we'll get to start really working on that. So I can't wait for you guys to start finding out about SOUNDBITE the film. Thank you so much for listening to me. And like I said, this is probably boring to a lot of you. You know, I'm just a writer talking about, you know, a script Not the most exciting part of filmmaking, but for those of you who do care, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.